All right, so let's figure out, Dustin, what is our first topic that we're going to go over here?
They told it to me, and there it is right there. Connections, relationships, and joint ventures.
All right, who in this room would like to get more connections, relationships, and joint ventures? Let me see your hands. And how many of you realize that when you get joint ventures and more relationships, it will increase your bank account? Let me see your hands, right? Absolutely. This business is a joint venture business. So let's do this. We're going to give you a couple seconds. I want you to think about, does anybody have any strategies, resources, tactics, ideas of what's worked for you to get more stages, more JVs, and business partnerships? So I want you to be thinking about that.
And I would tweak it, not just any ideas, your best ideas. That's the spirit of the mastermind. So something that you've used, leveraged, or someone in your inner circle has leveraged to build relationships, maybe do it at scale, maybe do it deep, with folks to really build that and solidify those relationships. So your best ideas, not just any, but your best ones.
So let's hear one of your best ideas. So Dustin, tell them some of the things we do to get. I don't know if you know this. When I first met Dustin, or actually not when I first met him, before we started Speaking Empire, Dustin was actually hired as a product launch manager. So when people did these big $1 million product launches, they actually brought Dustin on to be the launch manager. And one of his roles was, they wrote him a nice big check, and he would then get all the JVs, all the people to promote somebody's launch. And what were some of the launches? How much money would you guys do?
Oh, $1 million. We do $1 million launch in the real estate space, real estate info product space. And then we would do that selling like a digital course or program. And then where the real money was in the back end. And so because these folks had invested, we would invite them to an event, and then we would sell them coaching. And so there was a lot more money actually in the back end. But we did millions of dollars just getting people into the
And how fast of time do you guys do $1 million?
Well, the money acquisition, if you want to call it that, was done in like 7 days. Planning,
so who would like to do 7 figures in 7 days?
Planning, of course, was a little bit more than that, but the 7-day open window.
So I want you to, who would be interested in learning this strategy? Let me see your hands. So tell us, and you've done this for multiple different people. You did it for Than Merrill, Tim Mai, remember Greg and Josh. So what was one of your best strategies? Because a launch is really 2 things. Write this down. Traffic and conversion, right? You've got to get people who have a list of folks to promote, and then you've got to have some kind of mechanism to convert those folks, a webinar, VSL, sales letter, or landing page. So that being said, a big part of a launch is getting JVs. So give me 3 of your best strategies of how to get JVs.
Well, my first best strategy is definitely newsletter. So it's an old school strategy. How many of you have an appreciation for the old school? Let me see. Okay, good. So newsletter. Now, I could sit and start and say, go face-to-face and really develop deep relationships. And like that goes without saying, is like you should come to seminars, should come to an events. And I think we're at a high level where we understand that. So now the question is, how do we do it at scale? Or how do we do it if we can't fly to Singapore, if we can't fly over there? And so one of my best strategies was a newsletter. And so when I first got started in this, when I left actually working for Dave, I used to work for Dave at Foreclosures Daily, and I wanted to go out and make a name for myself. I launched a business credit product. And so the first thing I did was I put together the target of people. So I created a list of people that I wanted to connect with, and I got their mailing address, their phone number, their email, their fax. Now we've got social media handles and channels. And so I created the list. Now I have to give props. That's not the right word, but I got to give credit where it's due. And this is Chet Holmes's idea of the Dream 100. And so you got to know who you're going after. You got to have the target of who do you want to attract into your life, joint venture partner-wise. Is it promoters that do stages? Is it affiliate marketers? Who are they? And so I put together this list, and I did it in Excel before I had Infusionsoft. And so I had a list to go after. Now, one of the strategies I said was, these are all influencers. So let me ask you this question. How many of you get a ton of email every day? Let me see your show of hands, right? Imagine if you're at like the top level, right? Like the top of your game, like, think Richard Branson, all that, like they get tons of emails, right? And so you've got to cut through that clutter. So what do you do? And so one of the strategies I did is I did old school. I put together a newsletter. I called it Dirty Talk, which was a crass name to cut through the clutter and get people's attention. And you decide if you want to go that route. But I mailed this once a month. And what I did was I made a personal connection every month. I highlighted a certain speaker. I'd said this is what they're up to. And then I just shared what I was learning at events and in my testing. So out there growing my business. And I would mail this once a month. And so this newsletter would go out, and I would get people responding to it. I would get people asking me, how do I get to be that featured speaker in your newsletter? That was always fun. And then eventually I started getting gigs. And so I started building the relationships by providing value first, and I did it offline.
And the interesting is you didn't have a budget. You did it in our clubhouse with the copy machine. So
yeah.
He would type up a one-page newsletter, black and white. It was, maybe you can show it this weekend.
Yeah, I can do that.
And he would mail it out to all the influencers, and this is how I got booked to speak on stage. Pretty interesting strategy.
Yeah. What was that thing like before my time? What was the thing like the precursor to the copy machine? What was that? Mimeograph.
Yeah.
So people told me, like, when I was doing this on the shoestring, and so when I first got started, we had this copy machine in the clubhouse that I lived in, and this thing was like from 1980, and it had maybe like 3% toner in it. So imagine that, like just old machine, no ink in it. But I had to get it out, and so I created the newsletter, and we printed it on that copy machine, and then we just copied it. And then Missy, my fiance at the time, she helped me put the stamps on there, and we were handwriting. And that's how I got started, right? And so I'm a big fan of newsletter or offline. Now, how many of you want to plus that strategy?
Yes.
Only some of you? Come on, how many of you want to plus that strategy?
Yes.
Okay. So the other thing is to do something 3D, or as one of my mentors says, outrageous. And so one of the things that our most successful students do have mailed their own courses. So for those of you selling a course or a program, mailing it out to the influencer, mailing it out to the person with the audience is a conversation starter. So mailing out your home study program, mailing out something of value to them is a very powerful strategy. We had one of our clients, Nathan Jurowitz, known as the short sale kid from the real estate space. He actually, for a product launch, mailed out MacBooks. He got them custom made. You can actually change the color of it on Apple.com. And he got the little mini MacBook, and he mailed them out as a strategy. He put a video on that MacBook so that when it got in, there was a note, watch the video, and he built relationships that way. And so this is a crazy way to do it, an outrageous way of building relationships in mass. He absolutely got an ROI on that.
He only mailed it to like the top promoters, and he got one of them out of the list, which he made $100,000 from that guy's list.
Really, this was an attention grabber. Yeah. So again, it goes back to your list. You may not mail the top 100. You may mail the top 10 with that strategy.
Who wants an even better strategy then? Anyone know a better strategy? How about a 7-figure strategy? So one of the things we used to do for our clients was a done-for-you product launch. We would actually build their webinar. We would set up everything. And then what we did is we did a product launch party. So we get a hotel like this, and we invite 100 JVs, so people that had the list. So we targeted 100 people that this person did, and we said, hey, we're putting on a $5,000 mastermind event, and what we're going to do is if you decide to promote this launch, we'll waive the $5,000 fee. Making sense? So when the people came in to check, we said, hey, because it's all about getting people to send the emails, right? We said, hey, it's $5,000 or sign this that you're going to promote 3 emails to your list, and this whole entire $5,000 event is for free. So we got 100 people to this event, and what we did at this event, we showed the guy's product. So we showed the product. We told everybody why this product was very special, and he went through it. He told the story, and so we really built this product up. So put that down at JV party, and then what we did is we did a contest, an affiliate contest. So for the launch, so the winner won what? You guys had a winner win a car, a BMW, a car. And trip to here, all kinds of computers and TVs and different things. So we had a huge thing. And what happened was, Dustin will tell you, when he used to do these launches, that he then created something that was really cool, which is like a leaderboard, right? So that other people can see the other people. And the ego kicked in because what's-his-name was going to be by what's-his-name that was going to win the car. And so now you got all these people promoting their list to win your nice car. And obviously, you're looking at $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, so to buy a $100,000, $200,000 car is not a big deal. Making sense?
So having a place where, this is really more joint ventures. How do you build relationships there and explain stuff so you don't have to do it over and over again? And so we created a portal for joint ventures, like a blog, where they could find out all the details. So if you have a product or service, are you making it easy not only for joint venture partners, but your customers or your clients to promote you? And so we're big on referrals here at Speaking Empire, and so we've developed materials that we will give to our clients, give to you guys, to help us spread the word about what we're doing here. And so the question you have to think about is, am I promotable? Or do you have the materials in place easily for people to access to promote you and talk about you and your brand?
Who wants a strategy where you just started off, you don't have a product, and you don't know any JVs? Would anybody interested in an amazing strategy? Let me see your hands. All right, we're going to have one of our clients who's going to be here tomorrow. His name is Mike. He actually just made the Inc. 500. I don't know if you know that, Dustin. So I'm very excited for him. He was a realtor, and he wanted to become the realtor coach. However, he didn't have a box. He isn't a speaker. He had nothing, but he was a realtor. He was a good realtor here in San Diego, California. So what we did for him is one of the classes we have, which is called a group Power Day workshop, where you come in, and we sit down, we build your whole PowerPoint, and we create your offer. So now he has this webinar done that we created. He doesn't have the box yet, right? So are we going to wait for him to build the box, or are we going to sell the box now and build it later? What do you guys think? Sell it first, build it later. How many of you like that model? Right? I hear so many people, I've been writing my book for 3 years. Why? Why don't you sell it and then get paid to write your book? Make more sense? So now we wrote his webinar presentation, and we created 6 modules for the offer. How many modules? 6. And what we did is we talked to 2 of our JV friends, and what we decided, since he was so new and unproven, we said, JV partner, you keep 80%, he'll keep 20%. Now, why would he sell a $1,000 product when we all know it's 50-50, give 80% away? Why? Well, there's a couple strategies. One, if you're an affiliate with a big list and somebody comes to you, well, I've got a box that's 50-50, and you hear somebody says, I'm giving you 80%. Right? Now you're in, right? But we all know that this, I'm going to show you tomorrow, your customer path. This is almost like a loss leader. The big money's made on the $25,000 coaching sales and the big upsells. So what he did is gave away 80-20, made, I want to say like $360,000 in 2 weeks. No box done, no list, no nothing. Then we invited everybody that bought the box a free ticket to his boot camp. And then about 68 people showed up. And I said, we're going to sell a $20,000 coaching program. He says, I don't have a $20,000 program. I said, you do now. We're going to pre-what? Sell it. Again, he sold it. I think we did what? Almost $400,000 there. So
I call that give away the farm.
Give away the farm.
You can remember that, right? Give away the farm, 80-20.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, that I want you to be thinking about, because I know, how many of you want to speak internationally? Is that your goal? Oh, good. Okay. So this strategy of the newsletter and putting the Dream 100 together, this list, now works online digitally amazingly. And so now if you've done your research and put together your target, we can now get these folks onto Facebook. And so as a way to build a relationship with folks is you first have to build awareness. So in anything in marketing, you got to first build awareness. You got to be on their radar. And so now we can do a Facebook targeting strategy where you can run ads specifically to those folks. So if there's a promoter on, like a Matt Basak or a Russell Brunson, every time they log into Facebook, your ad can appear, and it can be a lot cheaper than you think because you're only targeting that specific person. And so this strategy right here is very powerful. You want to know a plus to that one? Are you guys awake yet?
I don't think they realize that one.
Okay. The plus to this one, I'm testing this one. We tested this one at Angelique's event. And where did you go? She's speaking with a client. One of the things I did was, and this one's a little edgy, and depending on
this
how
is
you use
this is
this.
underground marketing
Well,
strategy.
underground,
Right?
and you better think about how you do this and how you use it. And what I mean by that is, if you're speaking at an event, you're likely okay to use this strategy. But if you're not and you're doing this, it may be borderline. So I'll leave that up to you guys.
That's
to
like
decide.
when we used to do events. People come flyer the cars out in the parking lot to come to their event.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so the strategy is this. We can actually now target the hotel. So if you want to run your ads to a specific event that's going on in that hotel because you know that's your marketplace, you could do that. And so we flew out to Inside Edge where we were speaking. Now I had a breakout
They haven't
session.
got it. His light bulb went. So like trafficking aversion is coming up in a couple weeks. I have 5,000 people. So the strategy is, instead of going there, getting a booth, you can now do what Dustin's saying you, that the people that are at that hotel for trafficking aversion, or Tony Robbins or whoever, you can target those people.
Well, it's not that it's new. It's a lot of people don't know to just target like an address. Now, let's take this hotel as an example. We're likely, this hotel has like maybe 500 whatever rooms here, right? And not everyone's here for this specific event. So there's going to be breakage, or there's going to be, me paying for stuff. But the reality is, when we went to this Phoenix event, Inside Edge, we paid $200 to blanket that whole hotel, which was a resort, and maximizing getting all the people to my session. And so out of that event, there was a lot of breakout speakers there. My room by far had the most people in that room because of the Facebook strategies and some of the things I'll share at Amplify to get the people to my room. And so you can use this strategy as well, down to the hotel or down to an address on Facebook. And so that would be the plus to targeting the actual promoter with influence. Davin really likes that one.
Yeah, all right. So when you're speaking on stage in front of 2,000 people or whatever overseas, this is an added, eyes on eyeballs, right? You just, that one extra touch, if somebody logs on, and your ad's going to pull up.
Works really well if you're speaking, again, at an event where there's a ton of speakers and they got to pick, am I going to go see her? Am I going to go see him? And so you help them decide by running Facebook ads for a specific time to that hotel about you.
Can you talk more about that? Because I see them glazed over this weekend. Maybe Saturday or Sunday.
I thought you meant right now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can pull that up on what we did. We're going to be speaking. Dave's actually busy, so I'm covering for Dave yet again, Dave. And we're going to Dan Kennedy event, and I'll be speaking there. And so one of my strategies that I'll be using is this Facebook strategy. So we'll market to that hotel all the branding of me, come see me, bonus, bonus, bonus when you come see me speak, to fill that room, to get everybody to my session. And so I can talk more about that.
Yeah, so let me ask you this question. Who in this room wants me to share with you a strategy right now that will guarantee you 7 figures, guaranteed, and all you have to do is implement this strategy, and I promise you it will work. Who would be interested in this strategy? Let me see your hands. All right. Now, getting people to do joint ventures with us. There is some persuasion technique. You're saying, hey, you've got this big list of people. Let me speak on your stage, right? Let me do a webinar to your list. This provider's like, they probably hear that all the time. So we have to build, these are strategies. So now, I'm going to give you an example. When you speak on somebody's stage and sell your box, what's the cut? Does anybody know? 50-50? Did you guys know that? No? So Dustin's going to be speaking on a stage, or I'm speaking on stage, and I offer my box up at somebody else's boot camp, and I sell. What's the cut? Does anybody know? 50-50, right? That should be speaking basic 101. So, all right, so this is a JV. You speak on somebody's stage, okay? And you sell $100,000. How much money did you make? Right? So it's a 50% cut, and you made $50K. How many of you knew this? Let me see your hands. How many of you do not know this? Okay, this is the business. So this is the business that you're in. Now, what does the JV care about? How good you can do what? Close. That's his business, friends. Can you close? Because they want 50% of your earnings. okay? It's like airtime, TV time, right? They got so much time on their stage that they want to maximize it. Making sense? So we do a different strategy. We determine whose stage we want to speak on. We know who our customer is, and we pick up the phone and we ask a different question. How much it costs to speak on your stage? They're like, what? No, we want to write you a check right now. How much it cost? Nobody's ever said that. They all want to speak on my stage. No, we want to pay you. How much? So sometimes they'll say $5,000, $10,000. Sometimes they'll say $25,000. So we found Angelique, who is a person who had teaching people about corporate training and coaches and all that. She gets about, I don't know, maybe 1,000 people there or 500 people-ish. And we talked to her on the phone, and I said, how much it cost? She said, $25,000. I said, okay, no problem. We wrote the check for $25,000. Okay? Now, that's pretty gutsy, right? $25,000 to speak. Now, let's take the same model. If we pay to speak, I sell 100K, and I pay 25K, and I keep 100%, how much is my profit now? Which is a better strategy? Pay to play. Got it? It's a whole different mindset. I get it. But when everybody's doing everything else and you do something different, you got it made. Right? So now, you've got to know your numbers, right? Now, what Dustin's doing is we do this all the time. We don't bother. We just pick up phone. How much it costs to speak? Now, when you're there and there's a bunch of speakers there and you've invested some money, you want to make sure you play every ace. That you play every what? Ace. You want to make sure that if it's a breakout and they've got 3 speakers and the event people can go this one or this one, this one, that you want as many people at your breakout as possible, right? Right? Because if you pay and out of 500 people, 400 of them go to the other person and you only have 25 people to hear your talk, you're in trouble. Okay? And expecting that they're going to help you out, no, they just want their 25,000. Right? So then, what Dustin's suggesting is why the people are at the big conference, they log on to Facebook or they check their website or whatever, an ad comes up. It says, oh, by the way, Speaking Empire, come see me speak at lunchtime. And that's just the top of mind awareness. Making sense? And so this is a strategy. That's an easy one. So, yeah, we can get on people's stages, do the 50-50 cut, or we can pay to play.
You say top of mind, I think of it like, and you're right, I think of it like it takes 6 or 7 touches. How many of you have heard that to make the sale? Whatever the number is. And so I figure, well, gosh, if I can get an ad to them, I can bring some awareness, then I become a more interesting character. And so I think about that. How can I shortcut the sales cycle? How can I build value? How can I build that relationship? And so that's how I think of it.
Now, let me give you an example. So we work with one of our clients. He's an eye doctor, an eye surgeon. And he just was a surgeon for so many years, and he got burned out. So now he wants to teach other eye doctors, right? So he wants to charge $1,000 a month where he's going to do 2 group coaching calls. $1,000, is it $1,000 or $2,000?
What, a month?
Yeah.
Oh, $2,000.
I said, no, it's $2,000. So he charges $2,000 a month, does 2 group calls. So how many hours a week is that? 2 hours, right? And, but he doesn't have any customers. So we found out there was an eye doctor convention. So the cool thing is there's a convention, there's an association for everything. Everything. Eye doctor association, chiropractor association, you name it, association. So he calls them up and says, how much it costs to speak on your stage with all these doctors? Guess how much it was? Like $2,000. And he got a booth. And there was there 1,000 or 500?
Well, there was 4,000 at the main and then 1,000 in the trade show area, which is where
So 4,000 eye doctors who have money. He went. I wrote his presentation. Now, this place said you can speak, but you can't sell a box. You've got to build content. So we created a strategy where he spent $2,500 to speak, 4,000 doctors, okay? And he's going to do a lunch thing. So we did the thing. We did an application strategy close. So the irresistible offer that Dustin's going to go over tomorrow, we create an irresistible offer where he says, hey, for those of you who really want to take your doctor business next level, I charge $5,000, but it's free if you go back. We do a strategy session. He did his presentation, and literally like 50% of the eye doctors ran back to do a strategy session. And out of there, he sold them. He had the coaches sit down and sell $2,000 a month. The last time I talked to him, he was up to, do you know how many doctors he's up to? 200 or 100? I would say, I'm estimating, we'll have to get him next time. So 200 doctors are paying how much per month? $2,000 per month. Continuity, every month. How much is that per month? How much? $400,000 per month. How much is that per year? How much? $4.8 million in 6 months. Not bad, huh? How much would you pay to play and speak now? Let me see your hands. Right? Is this making sense? This is very doable. How many hours a week is he giving up to make 2.8 million or 4.8 million? How many hours? 2. He actually took 8 months on his yacht, floated around, went to Michigan, came down to Florida and hung out. But in between that, he got on the phone and did his coaching. So paying to play could be a 7-figure strategy. Now, I'm here to tell you, I will tell people this. Does this make sense to everybody? As a business owner, we make wise investments, right? Who in this room would not do this? Anybody? The sad thing is, maybe only 4% of you will even consider taking this strategy up on me. I don't understand why, but it is the truth.
All right, Dave, we've been sharing massive value.
Okay.
So in the essence of Mastermind.
All right, we want you guys, so
Yes.
we're going to be talking for the next 3 days
Yes.
on strategies like this. So give us some strategies. I know, Maria, you have a nice 7-figure business, and a big part of your business has been through this. Would you please come up here on the mic, share with us some of your strategies. Real quick, talk a little bit about your business and how I think you've really mastered doing affiliates and JVs.
I was sitting back there thinking, like, I built my entire business on the JV model. So I just wanted, because there's a million ways to skin this cat. So that's the most important thing to know is don't get, pigeonholed by one thing. Can you put back the first one, the JV and the thingy thing?
I think, okay, yes.
The other one, the selling from stage, next one. Yeah,
This?
that one. Yep,
Okay.
cool. So these are true, and there's caveats to all of them, right? So if you're going to pay and invest $25,000, you have to obviously make sure that's where you're at. But if you are not confident in closing, like if you haven't been trained by them, AKA do their program. So if you really, and I mean it, because if you don't get results and you're at somebody's event, if you understand the infrastructure, the back end of running an event, has anybody put on their own event? It can be very expensive, right, Corey? Mm-hmm. So remember, it's always got to be a win-win thing. And so those people are looking at you to get results for them as well. And if you don't, it's a small industry, it's a small circuit. So what do you think happens? You create a name for yourself, right? So it can go both ways. So you want to make sure you can get results for whoever you're speaking on stage with. So if you're going to invest that kind of money in the beginning, you want to make sure that you're going to get that back. So it's a win-win for you too. So for me, I do, like you have up there the JV stage, and remember there's JV online. It can be a very different infrastructure. When I started, and what I've done up till now even, is I don't do 50%. So when I would either pay to speak, or when I knew my conversion, and what I could do is you always want to sell your smallest package thing, right? I mean, this is probably sounding really bad. If you run events, this isn't what you want people to know. But you want to sell your smallest item, right? Because I sell a high ticket item. And so for me, it was a hard thing. I don't have the typical funnel. I go straight to a high ticket. So I had to create a smaller package price to sell from the event. So what I ended up doing is I ended up taking my JV model that I created for online and using it in the speaking. So I kind of go outside of the mold a bit, meaning, so for example, with my program, I pay a high JV commission, right? So that's a benefit to the JV. I have no email list. I did 7 figures, no email list, right? That's not the typical, but it's because I have a high-end program, and so I know that I can make my JVs make more money than the typical 50% route, right? So if you do the math, so say I pay my JVs $1,000, and if I do the online model, right, the typical online model is 50-50, but what's the price point that most people sell?
$495, $995.
Exactly. So even that's pretty, rare. Usually it's like a $200-ish type thing, right? 300 or under. So if they make $150 per sale, how many sales do they have to make my one sale that they would get $1,000 off of? Does that make sense? So for me, I can say to them, look, I don't need your email list because I don't build a list, but I can make you make a lot of money, right? So I trade. So what I was going to say is part of the things that help the most is you got to be really clear on what your package is, like your elevator pitch all the way to like your promotional stack, if you know the lingo. Does that make sense? Like you got to know your product and how to pitch it very quickly. So in social media, they always say, how long do you have people's attention? Anybody know? Huh?
2 seconds?
Yeah, right? Like when you're doing promo stuff, yeah, exactly. You have 2 seconds to get their attention. It's the same thing in live events. So when you're networking, how long do I have your attention for? If I want to sell you on what I do, or I want to find a JV, right? I gotta get your attention on it. I have to make you have some interest to continue the conversation. Does that make sense? Anybody following me here? If you guys have been to events before, so even today when you're networking, it's the same beneficial thing. Is be really clear to tell people what you do. The second thing is because I built my JV model on networking alone, right? We were at TNC 3 years ago, and you were like, I thought I knew everybody, because we were like, we know everybody together. And it's part of building relationships, and it's so, so critical. And that's kind of what I've lived on is that part. So create value for people, find out how you can serve them and be a part of them, but also be creative in how you can partner together, because they're not going to figure it out for you. Does that make sense? It's so critical. If you come to me and you have a real estate group and I sell a health program. I've never spoken or rarely spoken in a health space.
Really? So you go outside your market?
You know that.
Yeah, that's
I speak
true.
at financial events, entrepreneurial events, real estate events, everywhere, because everybody has health. Right?
Yeah.
But I find a way for them to make it beneficial. So how can you benefit your audience by bringing something to them, right? So the entrepreneurial space, how can you have your own independent health system? How can you have more energy and vitality and blah, 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 your health and your wealth, right? So if I speak at financial events, it's, hey, if you are the host, you own a financial company and you have your audience, you've got to pitch it to them in a way that's why are you bringing this person to them, right? So this is the benefit. I care about you guys. If you're going to build your wealth, you want to know how to keep it, right? So I have to pitch it that way. Does that make sense?
You have to mirror match your audience.
Yeah, you got to be your own self-promoter. And so if you want to make JVs happen, you got to find a way to morph it into how it's going to benefit their audience. That makes sense? So I just want to say, don't be stuck in the box with things. Create it how you want to live and how you want your business to be. I've gone so against the mold, as you guys know, for years, and everybody was like, you're not going to be able to sell that. You can't do it that way, which only makes me want to do it more. So, those are 2 models, but that's speaking from stage. And when I first started, there was times I'd pay $12,000 for 20 minutes on stage. right? And so it changes. And then as, of course, I, learned how to close better and how to compel people to take action. I like to say enroll instead of close, but you know what I'm saying. I learned how to do that, so I was confident in it. And then I could go into saying, okay, I'm going to pay, and I'll pay a high ticket price because I know what I'll make happen out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, awesome.
So yeah, and just recently, it's funny how it all comes full circle, and it morphs and changes. That's another thing. Don't be afraid to change your model if it's not serving you or it's not working, because everybody's business is so unique and so different. And if you try to fit like what all the online entrepreneurs are saying, or what the speaking industry, everybody will say a different thing. That's the benefit of the mastermind, because you're going to hear lots of different ideas, so it's really cool. But I just spoke at an event, and it's actually people who were graduates of mine, and they literally called me and said, Maria, we just want you to come speak because we just want to thank you for all you've done for us. And I was like, okay, cool. And it was the first time in 10 years I was like, not going to do a PowerPoint. I'm not even going to prepare what I'm going to say. I'm just going to get up and wing it, because I'll probably have like 20 minutes, right? I get there.
But you're skilled. You've been through the training. You understand the principles. You understand how to communicate.
Well,
it wouldn't
now
be
I can
advice
say
for everybody, but it would be.
Yeah, totally. But I can actually say that the funniest thing I thank God I was, because I get there and I'm thinking I'll just get up 20 minutes, do a thing, right? And I get there and they're like, oh, you have 2 hours. I went, are you shitting me? Like, what? I'm going to have to talk for 2 hours. I was so like, holy cow, are you kidding? So I did. I spoke for an hour and a half off the top of my head. And I had your formula, boom, 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 boom. It's imprinted, you know what I mean? So when you speak, it's got to be visceral. Like, you got to be able to like regurgitate it like that. And then the other cool thing is I decided, well, since this isn't something I'm paying for, I don't have a huge risk here, I'm actually going to test something out. So I started the text message to application thing. And I do a heavy application process, right, that most people don't do. Most people use a text to opt in to catch emails, but I don't care about emails. So for me, I take people, so I spent 3 days with my tech team testing it, building it until I got on the plane and got on stage. I'd never done it before. I'd never tried it before. So, that's another thing too. When you have a very low risk opportunity, test things you want to test. That's when you test them. So it was actually really cool. Good. So I didn't have to have a sales team with me. I didn't have to have all that stuff. So I've had it on the screen. Here's the text message to opt in. So I did your formula from stage, and then had them take action right then from their cell phone. And it was actually pretty cool.
What do you think that the outcome will be of that? 6 figures, 5 figures? Or?
Absolutely. It's a little different for me right now because I don't do the speaking circuit as much. I'm not speaking.
No, that one event. So you spoke there. You got,
yeah.
How many applications do you think you got?
I did about 30,000, but honestly, I wasn't trying to. I really wasn't. Because it was my friends, I didn't do as much of a push as I would have. But what it showed me is I was like, I can do this anywhere, because I get interviewed a lot online. Yeah. Anywhere, I'm like thinking, gosh, if I was on my TV show again, I could easily just give this number, text to that. Yep. I mean, it was really mind-blowing. I'm like, gosh, why didn't I do this sooner? So if you guys haven't looked into that, really check that out. It's so fast. And when you're sitting in the audience, everybody has their phones already. And it just took away that whole having to get up and move. And they still could do that. People still lined up to talk to me, but they could still take action and then have both, right? Yeah. So it's a little different. So I'm going to use it webinar-based. I'm going to use it all that kind of stuff now. And it's a little different. I'm in the middle of an acquisition now. But what I was going to say about that is, if I hadn't built my structure the way I wanted it and have a huge, back end, like I'm doing an acquisition to the tune of $450 million.
Let's save that.
And it's not.
Let's open.
Yeah,
loop
but it's
on.
Because of this model. Because I built a heavy thing that they can come in and take and multiply. So that's why I was saying it's really important to have a really good infrastructure of JV, or even it's JV marketing, whatever you want to call it, right? So
let's give her some love.
Yes, thank you, Maria. Thank you.
All right. So here's what I do. I would love to. I know lunch is coming up, and what I want to do here is I want to get more ideas and strategies of what's working. So I want you to write them down, and I want you to save them. We will revisit them. Now what I want to move us into is just rapid fire. And so part of the mastermind is getting ideas, resources, who's your gal for copywriting, who's your tech Infusionsoft guy in the cave that can just crank out funnels, right? And so who's your fulfillment company? So what I want you to do is I want you to come up with your best ideas and strategies and share them, resources, and I want to do rapid fire. So I'm going to ask you to come to the mic. So if
And make a
you
line.
Make a line, and I just want to go rapid fire right before we head in. 'Cause
So
I wanna
what
serve
special
you.
app are you using? You know, who's your traffic person? What technology? We call this tips, tricks, and resources. So all of us have some kind of resources or tip or something we're doing. And so that way we can all learn from each other.
So I'll start here. In a room full of speakers, this shouldn't be hard, so just come to the mic when you're ready. So I'm going to start here with BizSpark. So for those of you in the online space or have some sort of tech component to your business, Microsoft has a program, you can Google that, BizSpark. And so if you're in a startup phase, and there's qualifications, like you may have to be doing 6 figures in revenue or something like that, but if you go to BizSpark, they will open up the Microsoft product suite to you, so for you and some of your team members for free. So if you go to BizSpark and you Google that, there's a sign-up process, qualification process you go through there. If you qualify, again, it's revenue-based, and if you have tech in your business, they will actually open up Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, all that stuff to you. How many of you have heard of this?
No?
Yep, one. Okay. This is huge because, I mean, you know what it costs to get Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word, all that stuff. So check out BizSpark. Just Google it because it's on a Microsoft domain, but just Google it. You'll find it and then go through the application process.
I've got one cool one. Who in this room is thinking about starting up a nonprofit or wants to support a nonprofit? Let me see your hands. A lot of nonprofits struggle with marketing and do that. We found out that through Google Ads, there you can apply, and they give you $10,000 of free marketing for your nonprofit. A month. Yes. So $10,000 of free traffic for any nonprofit. All you got to do is apply, and it's there. It's awesome. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get up to the mics.
This is your opportunity. Get some exposure. Tips, apps.
Yes, come on up here, Drew. Come on, make a line.
We got
yes.
Liz. Liz,
all
go
right,
ahead.
come on up here.
So people ask me all the time the dread question, how do I get online? And it used to be I'd shake my head and do this because it's not easy. But if you're just getting online, ClickFunnels. Now, I've been with them since the beginning, through the headaches, through the building. They are solid. You can trust your business to them, and you can put up a membership site in 3 days. So I never want to hear, I have a product, but I can't launch it because I don't have a membership site. You have no excuse. ClickFunnels, now here's the ninja part. Only get the $97 a month part. Do not go for the $300 a month. You want the $97 a month level. You don't need all those extra bells and whistles. They'll just confuse you and keep you from launching. So get the $97 a month at ClickFunnels, and you can be online literally within a week.
Wow, that's awesome.
Very
Thank
cool.
you. Yes, Amanda.
Hey, I have a couple of cool ones that I just recently found that I'm loving. Designpickle.com. You can get free design for about $300 a month, and it's unlimited design work.
What?
So if you want
Like
your
graphics?
social media graphics, if you want workshops, if you want,
nice.
they don't do logos. That's the only thing. But $300 for a bunch of people working in the United States on your design. It's pretty cool. I've been really enjoying them.
Design Pickle.
Yeah, designpickle.com. Yeah. Powtoon. If none of you guys have used Powtoon, it's a free service for animated videos, and it's just, I mean, you get the only forewarning is that you get lost in it, and you could end up spending a week just loving the tool. Yeah, powtoon.com. Yeah. I mean, with how much video marketing is so crucial in today's world, to be able to have free video that looks super professional, one of those little cartoons comes up and talks about your product or service, that's really great. And then the last one that I'll leave you with is something that I learned from Ken Krogh, who's one of the top Forbes writers. When you were talking about organic traffic, getting a bunch of traffic, he wrote an article about LinkedIn, and it stayed on the top of Google for the last 3 years. And LinkedIn called him, and they're like, why won't it go away? And it's because in the subject line, in the title of his article, he searched beforehand. He used the Google AdWord. You can go into Google AdWords, and it'll have like do you know what it's called? I'm trying to remember.
Keyword tool?
Keyword tool. If you go into the keyword tool and you just start typing in all of the words that you're going to use in your headline and see how many people are searching that term, the more people that search that term, the higher your subject line, I keep saying subject line, but title of your blog is, it'll jump up to the search engines much faster. So like for me, I used chakras instead of meditation because more people were looking at chakras in my area than meditation. I didn't know that, but I used the Google search term. So every time you're writing a blog post and you want organic traffic, make sure that you use that keyword tool.
Thank you. Let's give her a hand.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Very nice.
That's cool.
Yes, Corey. Tips, tricks, and resources.
All right, so my resource is to use a mastermind.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this quick story. I was talking to Marcus a few weeks ago, and I was sharing with him some numbers that we had done on preview events. And in my mind, we had done terribly. And when I actually went back and looked at the numbers, they were pretty good. I mean, we were getting like a 30% ROI on the front end or something. It was enough that it was really worth the strategy. And so what I've found is that we get so caught when this room is a lot of idea people. We're very excited by the vision, and we get all, it's a bunch of awesome, excited business owners, and that's amazing. But sometimes, for me, I forget to look at the data and really settle down and just say what's actually working and not working. So I send him the numbers, and I find out that was a good strategy. I said, well, you know what, I'm going to try a couple different preview events. And so I started running ads 3 days ago, booked the hotels, started running the ads, and so far for an April 1st event in Connecticut, we have 43 people signed up at $1 a lead on desktop and $1.91 on mobile.
Wow.
And after 48 hours, all because Marcus literally sent me an email back and looked at my numbers. Is like, why aren't you doing this more? And I'm like, and I'm the young, right? I'm like getting distracted by the shiny object. Like, this could be cool and this could be cool. And then older businessman who's in the mastermind, who I respect, who has, twice my years on this earth, has the wisdom to look at it and say, dude, you're kind of an idiot. Maybe you should look at what you were doing before. Oh, great. So for me, utilizing the mastermind and the power of the collective wisdom is the best tool that I have found to grow my business. So thank you, and thank you.
Corey, older equals seasoned. They like it better. Seasoned. Okay.
So, yes, Emerson.
I like that. I'm just licking some of that seasoning. It's really spicy. Okay. In trying to craft offers, there's a lot of decent authors out there to help you understand how people think. But one of the ones that's really been great for me is Dan Ariely, Ariely.
Okay.
Irrational Rationality.
Oh, man. O'Reilly.
You will be blown away with the actual market test that he's done that shows you how, taking 3 different offers, you can always know which one the people are going to pick. And it will totally take the lid off of the way that you formulate your offers.
Yeah, I like him. I watch his videos. It's good.
He's phenomenal.
It's back to Corey's data.
Yeah, back to Corey's data, doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tests with people, and you just need to read it. I don't want to spill the beans. On Design Pickle, I'm going to give one alternative. How many of you need logo work ever? Or have? Okay. Well, I run into clients who do, and there's another one like Design Pickle. I've used them both, called Brand Strong. And what they will do when they onboard you, if you need to have a logo, they will design a logo for you. And this isn't a Fiverr logo. They work it, they send it, they work it, and they make it into something that really becomes a gorgeous piece of work.
How much are they?
They're about the same price, about $300 a month, I think.
$300 a month to have a whole
Oh,
graphic team.
And how that process works. The $300 is like the lowest level program that they have, but they'll work on one project for you and have a 72-hour turnaround. And they will, as soon as they finish that project, you have another project. And they'll just keep doing that. They'll keep doing it and doing it and doing it as many times during the month that you send something to them. So if you need tickets, you need VIP tags, you need brochures, you need your, whatever. It's a phenomenal program that just can, if you are serious and know what it is you want, then the trick with that is you've got to have an idea what you want and communicate with them. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Amanda? I mean, that's really the key. You need to communicate with them and tell them and give them clear direction, and they will work with you, and they'll make it look beautiful.
All right, let's pick up the spin. Let's get as many as we can in
Yeah.
here because the clock's ticking down. So, Davin, what you got?
All right, hey guys. So, how many of you use calendar links to, you send out your calendar link, people book time with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many? So, about 20% of you. So, first of all, everybody should be doing that. The 20%, would you agree?
Yeah.
It makes things so much more efficient. But some of those fall through the cracks, right? You send out your calendar link, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to click the link and send it back to you, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm using something called Clara Labs. I just started using it. It's amazing. CLARALABS. And what it is, it's a mesh of automation and live people that work from home, basically. What they've created is unbelievable. So what happens is I'll send out an email. They'll say, great, let's talk. I'll say, great, I'm copying in my assistant, Clara. She'll schedule something for us. And then Clara jumps in and goes back and forth till it's scheduled.
Wow.
Unbelievable! It is.
My gosh.
It's the most amazing tool, and so I
Boy,
I can even see what's pending, what's gone through. I mean, it's a game changer for me. Game changer.
Well, this
Cool.
can
It
save
gets its
Nicole
own.
a ton of time.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Cynthia?
Okay, so I would like to share this little gem I just found just recently. I've worked with it, and it's absolutely amazing. Sometimes, whether it's because you're working on a book, on a tagline, on an ad or something, and you really want to target what it is that the person wants, if you use this app, it's absolutely great. It's not an app, it's an online service. It's called pickfood.com. So what happens is that instead of waiting indefinitely or spending tons of money trying to wait for people to reply to your survey, which title do you prefer, which book cover do you prefer, what resonates best with you, you get your answer like this within 30 minutes. It costs peanuts, okay? Just to give you an idea, for 50 replies, it costs like maybe $30 if you have option A or option B to select from. And the best part about it is that they're not just answering A or B, choice A or B, but they also tell you why. So although you may have thought A and B were the best things in the world, you just realize that really that's not what they want. So you can take their feedback, their comment, and massage it into really being able to deliver value and be of service to your ideal avatar. So hope
Thank
this
you.
helped. It's called pickfood.com.
Thank you.
Excellent.
And you know also who answered you, whether you can specifically target a certain area, so it doesn't have to be broad to all of the United States. You can specifically target their income level, who it is that's answering you. So if you know who your ideal avatar, you can just talk directly to them and get results from your ideal avatar.
That's a good one.
So that's amazing.
Yes.
And you can actually, based on their comments, let's say they comment on something, you can actually open a conversation with the person that replied. You have to pay a little bit more for that, but if you want more detail or you're intrigued by something that they wrote and you feel it might be something that, you may want to develop on, you have that possibility as well. So that's
Excellent.
awesome.
Thank you. All right, last 4, 5, rapid fire.
I want to give a shout out for Mike Filsame's product, Webinar Jam. It allows you to be on video, get it recorded, get it loaded, and get it done. Also, the app Rev, R-E-V. What it will do is you can talk into it, it will transcribe, and it will send it back to you in a Word document, and it'll do it in less than 24 hours. It is fabulous. So if want to get a book done, we want you to get your book done now, as in now. Okay, did I hear you hear me? Now. You don't have the opportunity to wait 3 years to write your books anymore. So take the opportunity, get it done, get the product created, get it out there. There's way too much noise in the world, and there's too much wisdom in this room. Please get it out now.
Thank you.
Now, thank you, Gloria.
Yes.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah, so when you're making calls, just say, hey, can you hear me okay? You got your first yes. That's a simple one. But
Love it.
she left, but when you're doing keywords, if you're doing, let's say, chakra, CH, $4. Use SH, 16 cents. Do a lot of misspellings in your keywords, and you'll still come to the top at a lower price.
Oh, that's nice. Good strategy.
Hi, this is Patricia from Singapore. Flew 23 hours to get here, so excited.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Oh
Oh, my gosh.
Do you have this?
Thank you. No, I don't.
You
Are
do
you gonna
now.
give it to me?
All right, we can do it
Now. And a hug, too. Bonus.
Thank you. That's a good bonus. Every time I come up here, I'm going to say that again. So I actually wanted to share about Canva. So it's canva.com. I'm actually a seminar producer across 8 different countries, Asia being predominantly the largest territory. And I do get a lot of requests from speakers that send me an email and say, hey, I'm interested to speak in Singapore or Thailand or Malaysia, and I'll go like, okay, can you tell me more? So why did I recommend Canva.com is because it's a very good platform for you to create very quick, beautifully designed reports, lead magnets, and you know, just now you were talking about reaching out to JV partners. It's a good tool for you to create a very beautiful, branded piece, one page, whether it's your personal bio or even your program flyer, your package flyer. It's fantastic and it's free. So just, you know, you don't need any graphic designers, and basically they have many beautiful templates that you can use, and you just need to upload pictures, put it onto the design, and immediately you have something that stands out across, like, you know, other people who send just emails. Yeah.
So does it do, like, when you're doing a proposal for a contract, like a sales contract that has all the...
Yes, that's right. It has all, even for Facebook cover images, for your tweet, as in your Instagram posts, they have all the templates according to A4 size, social media post size. Yeah, it's a must use, so please check it out.
Awesome, thank
Cool.
you.
Thank
Thank you very much. Marcus.
All right, 2 very quick resources. Talked about graphic design. If you need a logo, there's a website called LogoJoy, JOY.com. They are designing logos based on artificial intelligence. That's what I like. You don't have to talk to designers, because I hate talking to these people. Sorry, designers. So you go there, you pick 3 logos that you like. It designs more logos for you, and you say, like, don't like, dislike. So you just play with it for an hour, and it comes up with awesome logos that you like.
Wow.
It's free to sign up. If you want to keep the logo, it is anywhere between $20 and $65 that you get the source file. And all you need to do is just say, like it, don't like the design, and they are coming up with more based on artificial intelligence.
Wow,
Really
that's
cool.
good.
The other one that you might already use is Fiverr.com. People do crazy stuff for $5, designing logos, designing anything that you want to do. So for small tasks, it is great. Here's the tip to use Fiverr correctly. First of all, whatever gig you're looking for example, you need a banner, you sort it by highest ratings, because these people are being rated. So you sort it by highest rating, and then you hire the top 3. It's $5. Hire all of them. Hire 3 or 5. It will cost you between $15 and $25, and you then can just keep the one that you really like. So just don't do only one and wait for it. It's $5 for crying out loud. Hire 3 or 5 at the same time for the same task. It's copy and paste, and you'll get a great result on Fiverr. Anyway.
Love it.
Thank you. Awesome.
Hello. My name is Kenny Harper from Jacksonville, Florida, with Rock My Image. I caught wind of Speaking Empire last May. They had this event called Amplify. I was like, holy moly, I just released a book, Amplify Your Business. These guys are on the same frequency.
Yeah.
How to be a rock star. I'm like, oh, these guys are my guys. So how many people, show of hands, have a book out? Show of hands. And how many people are working on a book? Okay, so I see a lot of people working on a book. We talked about lead generation being an important thing. So here's an idea. If you're working on a book, think about maybe 12, 13, 14, 15 topics that you can speak to. Those are going to be your table of contents. And then you're just going to use something like rev.com to speak out your book. You can have it edited, and then you can have a book really, really quickly. Now, here's the ninja tip. So if you want to get more leads, think about in each chapter having some sort of way that you can position something like a download or a tool or an asset that people can go to your website and opt in. I don't see a lot of people doing this. It's a great strategy. At each chapter, have a takeaway, have an action item, and get them to go into your website. And then give your book away. In fact, I'm giving my book away. If you want a digital copy, free digital copy, come see me. I'm glad to give you a copy. Thank you.
Okay.
Love it.
All right. Wow, you got one more? Okay, one more tips, tricks, and resources?
Really quick, there's nobody that actually mentioned a good copy sales writer, and I think I know the best guy because of the fact that he's actually brought in my buddies millions of dollars of revenue. His name is Raymond Duke. He's actually done for Brendan Carter and guys like Ty Lopez and stuff like that. He's absolutely amazing. And so Raymond Duke, copywriter, he's great.
Awesome. Thank you.